I want to introduce a proposal, I think we call it a temperature check, or just a quick read from the other members of the board to see if this idea has traction. In the past meetings, the director reached out that we did have quite a bit of funding available that we had to use within the next year or so. And we were soliciting projects that could be of benefit to the community and to the business community and to the community as a whole. And something came, somebody put a proposal on my desk, which I thought was intriguing, and I just wanted to share it with the board. Now, there's certain things probably Albert could speak to this better than I can because the LDC wasn't particularly in the loop. But it seems that we have a successful bus routes circulating the city. I guess Lakewood could be called the city at this point. And it seems that the township was purchased, I don't know how much it was, 8 or 9 buses, and there's 3 routes that are currently circulating Lakewood every day, doing 19 runs a day. And this is servicing the far parts of the township all the way down to the Route 70 area, all the way up north to the downtown area. And it's basically being used for people that don't have easy access to cars, which is good. And if it's successful, it can also have a secondary benefit besides bringing people to shopping and businesses to reduce the amount of cars that are on the road. And the idea is right now, it does seem to be well used from what I've heard. And there's been volunteers that have sort of been handling, if you will, the customer service part of this, which generally has to do with collecting feedback, routes, getting which routes are desirable, which ones not, communicating with the various businesses, stores, whatever, to make them aware of the bus routes and to inform their customers that they're in commuting distance sort of through the bus route, even for people that don't have easy access to cars. It's also for people that only have one car and one of the spouses is going to work or whatever, and the other spouse is homebound and doesn't have access to easy transportation because the other one has it at work, things along those days. And the idea here is to set up right now it's being done from a kitchen table by various volunteers that are just community-minded people. And the idea would be to structure a actual customer service help desk, which would be available during normal business hours to all riders of the bus, businesses of the bus, and be the liaison for concerns to the township committee. And if there's issues that are coming up with the bus, they would report regularly to the township committee on issues that come up and ridership or things along those lines. And one of the ideas was actually that a lot of bus companies do, which with the technology today is relatively easy to do, is to actually track buses to see when they're coming through GPS and through a website allow people to check in when the bus is coming or if it's late or something along those lines. And the way I understand it now is that these 19 runs, basically each one of the buses does its loop every half hour. I don't know if it's every half hour, maybe every hour, maybe it's every. And basically to make this, to raise the profile, to do the PR, to be the central point if there are issues with the bus, they're not running, or weather issues if it's not running because of weather conditions. And this would be a well-advertised hotline number with whoever this liaison is going to be, well publicized that any information with the bus, this would be the number to call. And the suggestion is that this would be one full-time person that had skills in customer service, in dealing with the public, will also be bilingual, that many of the users of the bus their primary language is not English. And we have Yiddish, we have Spanish, we have to see exactly what the demand is, but that would be part of the requirements of the job that they be bilingual. And the way the proposed budget is, it would be a $75,000 item with a $48,000 salary, and then you have taxes. There'd be a $15,000 budget for PR and awareness and getting the word out about the buses and about the ability to communicate with this person who would be liaison. You have to set them up with a relatively moderate office, a $5,000 type of operation. It would just be best at computer and phone lines and something along those lines with accents. And anyway, that's the proposal. So obviously, a proposal like this probably has to go through the channels. I don't know if Sean is on the line here. Maybe it would have to be, RFP. I don't know exactly what the protocol is, but if there's interest in this program, I would like to propose it and sort of put it on the agenda, move forward with this.
I'd like to see.
Mr. Chairman, I believe it would require Rabbi, it would require an RFP.
Okay. Well,
I would love to.
Before we get.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you're first.
And I did want to hear from you, Howard, because again, a lot of this information I'm getting is secondhand.
No, so the truth is, I would want to know why. I would want to understand a little better why we're not taking, from the township angle, why we're not taking care of all this. It doesn't even begin.
It's a great question, except that we have funding, and I don't know what we have funding for now for projects. We have extra.
Right, but I mean, like we have manpower. And I'm curious why we're not using. In other words, for we meaning the township, we.
I don't know that answer, but I've heard from the community, basically from the Belz community, which is a Yiddish-speaking community, that they've really taken the lead in using this bus, and they felt that they needed some user-friendly. Customer service here. If the township wants to undertake to do it, it sounds perfectly reasonable.
If we can, then I'm very open to it, though. I mean, I just don't understand why we can't figure something like that out.
I don't know the answer to that. I just know it ended up on my desk. If the township wants to take it from here, it'd be my pleasure to hand it off to the township.
Apparently, someone else figured it out. I don't think it's anything against the township or anything like that, but it sounds like a great idea. And I see nothing wrong with supporting the idea. If it's something that's needed in the community, I think that it's needed. And what difference does it make, who's leading it? But as the rabbi said, that there's monies that are available here. So I'm quite sure that the township would be mighty happy to accept that.
Sean, I'd like to ask you a question through the chair. So are we allowed to take this existing proposal and develop an RFP based on the general concept and put it out there? And if this particular individual or vendor that provided this proposal is one of the bidders, how would we go about doing that? I guess two-part question.
We wouldn't want to make it a request for proposals that favored one vendor over another. It would have to be generically provided and give people, different entities, an ability to compete for it. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be, it's not an exception to the bidding rules where you can award a professional service contract or something like that. And just in the brief things that I've heard about it, it does sound to me like it would be something that would have to be competitively bid. But
we're starting at ground zero without any information to build a request for a proposal. Sounds like this individual has prepared this proposal. Can we go based off of that proposal to put at least a baseline RFP out there? That's my question.
So not having seen the proposal, we would want to review that and make sure that it wasn't something that was authored with the intent to preclude competition, or that it offers different vendors the ability to compete for the job. That's what we have to make sure.
Okay.
The actual proposal was not given to me by a vendor. It was given to me by a community group representing the Yiddish-speaking community in South Lakewood. That's who gave me. There's a sort of a social service organization called CARES, Community Advocacy Resources and Educational Services, and they service the southern part of Lakewood with bilingual community services. They're the ones that gave me the idea, that gave me the proposal.
Gotcha. So I guess so. Just to follow up on this, so to do the RFP process, we would have to produce an RFP, go through that process, get approval from the board to put that out there, and then allow the public to respond to the RFP. All I'm saying, and it sounds like it should be okay from this conversation, is, or maybe I'm incorrect in this my assertion here. Once again,
David, you want to look at the RFP and just take what this guy wrote and build on that, then you could do that and just show it to Sean and ask him if it's too specific.
Right.
We'll have to genericize it. Exactly. Okay, because once again, we're starting from ground zero with any knowledge on this project, and in order to put this RFP together, without doing our own ground up research, which honestly, if there's something out there already that pretty much lays out, not in specificity to this particular vendor, but in general what this type of project would look like, we'd like to see that so we could put this RFP together. Okay.
I mean, I don't have like a full-blown proposal. I have about 10 bullet points, what they think would be provided by, this person, such as, planning and organizing the schedules, getting feedback if the schedules are appropriate and accessible from the public, serving as a liaison, informing the public when the bus would run, those kinds of things. It's not a big point. I'm happy to share.
I think that's enough. Exactly, okay. Because the proposals we get back from the public will be specific to what their offering is, and we just want to, so they can be responsive to the general request. Exactly. Okay, that's fine. So once again, I guess we could work on putting that together, and then at our next meeting, perhaps we can present it to the board and let the board vote on if they want to put out that RFP. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, back to the chairman. Well, I'm assuming. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut off any other members.
No, it sounds right.
Okay.
It sounds like it's something really, it's a great idea, but I think it's something that the township should be running. All of these ideas are great, and I think it should be given to whoever the liaison the township is to the bus, and they should work on it. I don't know that it should be an LDC project. It's like LDC being a liaison for doing something like this for the police department or public works. It sounds out of the realm of the projects that we want to get into. I'm missing something.
I was surprised that I'm surprised that we're not being more proactive about this. The town being the township committee, being more proactive. If the people have needs regarding the bus, then we should have been more on top of it. I'm surprised it came to this, even that someone has to reach out to us, the LDC, and say that there's an issue, that there's not enough communication. It's a little bit, not embarrassing. It's just like something that somehow got away. I don't know how, but something that shouldn't have.
I just want to mention that, just historically, we were involved with the Shuttle Bus for many years, which went circulated downtown and brought people to the industrial park on the back. So it's not really a new idea for the LDC, but I really, from my point of view, I don't have any preference. The township wants to run with it, be my guest. The only reason that I thought to bring it here is because we were looking for projects and we do have the funding. Likewise, the township has the funding and they want to do this. Please, it's our pleasure.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'm against it. I'm just saying I was caught by surprise that this issue is so at this point is at the point where we need someone, which it could very well be that we do. And I wasn't talking about the township spending money. I was talking about doing it through the township, where we already have some manpower. Where we already have manpower and we wouldn't need to spend more money, and then we could use this same money for something else. But again, I'm not opposed to the idea of the LDC doing it. I just would like to think it through, and I wanted to look into why we're not covering this. You know,
Okay, I just want to also throw out that this community group related to me that they've been logging calls coming in, and they've sort of been taking the lead in trying to volunteer to be, helpful with the community, and they've logged 1,213 unique callers into the system, so there is volume.
wow. I hear that. I hear that.
Okay, I think we beat this up enough. If there's, Albert, I think if you want to take it back to the township and, take the bull by the horns and run with it, be my guest. We're not going to take any pride of ownership on this. So we just thought that it was a good idea and we want to just move it forward.
Okay. No, I'll talk to David offline, I guess. I'll look into it and I'll talk to David offline.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so anyone in the public interested in saying anything or any requests?
I think the chairman froze. Can you state your name and your address where you live? Do we do address?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Member from the public, can you state your name? I'm sorry, Chairman, you were freezing, so I just finished your
He's
statement.
frozen again. He's frozen again, but it doesn't look like anybody
No,
wishing to
something
make a
could put
comment.
their hand up. I don't know who the gentleman is.
Oh.
Or to me,
Oh, yeah, Lipa, you have to say your name. You want to make a comment?
I just want to thank
You have to
the
first say,
Just
Lipa, first you have to say your name and address for the record.
Lipa Klein, 34 Harmony Drive, Lakewood, New Jersey, 08701.
Okay, and now good. Now you could say,
So I just want to thank Rabbi Weisberg and the whole board and committee for taking your time and listening to the concern about the busing. So actually, the Yiddish-speaking community and all the people that use the Lakewood Shuttle are very appreciated and thank Lakewood Township for providing such a service, which is it's phenomenal. And next week, in order to help the small businesses in town with the Purim and Passover shopping, they're gonna add another 19 runs a day from next Monday, which is so basically I don't know how much time you have, but to do it very short, when the 7 years ago when I moved to Lakewood, I got a lot of calls that people from families moving from the city that were used to mass transit, and in Lakewood that wasn't the case. So since then, I had businesses calling me on my cell phone, calling my wife. Till today, we need buses. We want the community to come shop by us, and I have so many businesses that rely on that. And hundreds of people are using it. I saw the need. I printed schedules, paid out of my own pocket. And I have a hotline, which I paid out of my own pocket. Just got a little money that a good man gave it to me. And the last few months, I'm paying out of my own pocket because I just see the numbers that Rabbi Weisberg mentioned. I have 1,213 unique callers who called in the last year or so, maybe a little more, that are relying on this phone line. And basically, what my job is as a volunteer is to address the needs what the community has and to push the Lakewood Township Public Works directors and committee members. They should understand the needs what the local businesses have and what the local residents have. The people should be able to shop easily and when there's an issue with an accident, God forbid, or there's an issue with weather or holidays, legal holidays, there's communication between the community and the township to understand how to straighten things out.
yeah, and when Lipa says push, he doesn't mean push hard. He means politely.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to deal with you always, Lipa.
Appreciate it.
All right, we have no consent agenda, so we'll move on to the non-consent agenda. Resolution 22-4-1, authorizing RFP for liaison services for the Lakewood Shuttle Service. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move.
Moved by Rabbi Weisberg, second by Mike McNeil. Any discussion? We have a roll call, please.
Albert Ackerman,
Yes. One second. We have someone who wants to say something.
who?
I think the chairman is trying to say something.
AM, do you want to call me on the?
Just
You want to
hang
call
on,
me on
just
the?
one second.
Chairman, you want to call my phone and they can hear you from my phone. Here, I'll pick up the phone.
Or you could call me. I'll know how to interpret what you're saying.
Oh, here it is. I got it. Okay, I think we can hear you.
Okay, I believe Mr. Ackerman offered to look into
Nope.
a liaison.
It's not coming through.
Repeat it one more time. I didn't have it on speaker.
Okay, I believe Mr. Ackerman had offered last time to look into the need for a liaison. I'm not understanding why we need an RFP for a liaison for a township department.
But yes, no, you're correct. And I actually, I communicated to David Klein, to the director. I just didn't want to respond to the whole group because sunshine laws. I didn't want to put anything out there that could prompt discussion without having an attorney present and without an advertised meeting. But what I told David was that I looked into it a little more and I totally misunderstood. This is not something that I don't believe that Public Works could deal with. This is something that requires a lot of elbow grease on a local level, and it's to have a local constituent do a lot of coordination between businesses and individuals to make sure that they're getting the routes that they need and to report back to Public Works. It's something that has to work in tandem with Public Works. I didn't understand the whole operation that we were talking about last time, but now that I understand it, I think it's a very good thing. Apparently there are, I forgot, hundreds or thousands, I mean, if I remember correctly, thousands of calls that come in every month. And I mean, in my opinion, it's better to do it this way, to have someone who's local, who understands the local people, deal with it, and then filter everything to our Public Works.
These calls come into.
Sorry?
The question is where the calls come into.
So right now it's coming to that individual who was on the last meeting, Lipa Klein, who lives in the Belz community. But obviously the RFP is open to anyone who can handle such an operation. But that's who was dealing with it until now, and he brought his idea to Rabbi Weisberg to have someone do it on a more official capacity, and which would give whoever's doing it a little more credence to whoever he's dealing with in Public Works, and also it would let the public know, make it a little bit more well known. Which he said if he would get the contract, he would advertise that he's available, and people could reach out to him. So hopefully we'll get a lot more bus usage that way.
You said there's thousands of calls coming in monthly?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. Don't hold me to it. I don't remember. I asked him if he could send me his call log and information, and he sent it to me, and it was a significant amount of calls.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, if I could, just to pipe in here. We've been trying for many, many years to get effective bus routes, public transportation throughout Lakewood. We did a route to the industrial park, and then there have been various attempts to use bus service, hopefully to discourage 2 cars, the necessity for 2 cars. And we've not been particularly successful. There's been that one route that's been around and going around, and it has had some usage, but not really where we want to have it at. And with the buses that the township recently, put online, servicing the southern part of Lakewood, from what I understand, there's 9 routes now that are circulating, and it's really proven to be a success. And we really want to encourage that and make it user friendly. And aside from servicing the communities that it's servicing already now, but sort of to get it out there that there's reliable bus service out there, and to issue with the bus services, there's a phone number, a helpline, and just get that out there, hopefully to encourage more public transportation.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, this is Ellie Renner, if you don't mind me chiming in here as well. My dad uses the bus. He doesn't drive. He lives in Westgate. He moved here to be closer to family. And I think this is a great idea. There's only access to go to a lot of the stores in downtown to go to the bank. This is how he gets around. My only access to calling when I called Ray Coles when I needed help with the bus. That was my only point of contact, and I think this would be a great addition.
Yeah, you're talking about 2,000 calls this month. Additional few thousand calls this month.
What'd you say?
I said,
No, I was one call a few months ago.
Are you talking about people calling just to find out when a bus will stop where, like endless calls and businesses requesting that a stop come a little closer to them. But it could just be endless amounts of calls from literally anybody in town, and Public Works is not interested in dealing with that.
I would
have to.
I'm sorry to cut
I'd
you
much
off,
rather-
Isaac. I would recommend every trustee to take a look at the recommended RFP that we'd like to put out on the second page called Lakewood Shuttle Busing Liaison specifications. You'll see there are a tremendous, I would say there's a lot of services that they do offer that aren't currently being offered that are very beneficial. So I'm not trying to advocate, obviously, for this particular thing or for any particular vendor, but if you read it, you'll see it is quite valuable what they provide. So not they, but what
I agree. Look, we're asking for a proposal to come in. We're not signing a
Right.
contract with anybody at this point.
right.
I think it's an extremely good idea to see what's out there, see what comes in, how we might be able to modify it to fit our needs better, and how we can make sure that it integrates perfectly with Public Works. You know, the busing in town is a work in progress, and this is a part that Public Works isn't equipped to handle both personnel-wise right now and equipment-wise. So to have somebody who's doing this on a basis to make sure that we're maximizing service for everybody in town, I think is a really good idea, and we should at least look into it.
Yeah, I'll send.
Jump in, Mayor. Hello?
Hello, just please identify yourself.
Lipa Klein, 34 Harmony Drive, Lakewood, New Jersey, 08701.
Hi, Lipa.
Hi, Mayor, and hi, everybody. So I can see your faces. I tried logging on my computer, but I don't know what happened. It just it closed. That was the first minute. So if I can say a few words by phone, is it now a good time?
Yeah, we're talking about this, so go ahead.
I heard a little what you're saying, so I appreciate the kind words. Basically, the shuttle, anybody who wants to see what the shuttle does, the mayor knows, and the other people who saw it can come any day, the southern part of Lakewood, and see how many families are utilizing the shuttle and are relying on it. And basically, till now, the last few years, I'm in touch with our great mayor, Ray Coles, and the other committee members to implement it and to grow it. And they recently bought new buses. And my phone keeps on ringing all day. My wife's phone keeps on ringing, and the phone at my house sometimes rings at 7:30 in the morning. We're busy with the kids regarding the bus drivers and changes and everything. And then I get calls from a lot of businesses that they want the bus to stop at them. They need local shoppers to support the business, especially now after COVID. So I think to help the community and help the businesses get the local shoppers instead of shopping online, just help people, bring the people to their facility, to their office, to their business, to their grocery store, to their wherever they're selling, clothing stores. It's very efficient and it's a great thing. And whatever we can do to invest to make it more efficient is going to help more the local businesses to get more business.
Lipa, I didn't realize you were on. Could you share with everybody how many calls you get a month? Because I wasn't sure. I thought it was thousands of calls a month. I just didn't remember for sure, so I didn't want to say.
I can say I just checked before the meeting this week itself. I got a few hundred calls. My computer's is closed. I can't look exactly, but I can look up the email that I sent you. There are like thousands of calls. Let me see if I can find the email.
I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with. I'll share it with Dave. I guess I'll share it with David as a director, and David, you'll distribute it to everybody, like the information that Lipa sent me last month.
Yeah,
I asked
sure.
him to send me something showing me what's really going on, and he was
Sure,
able
no
to prove that there's a lot going on. So
Hmm.
I'll share it with you, and you'll share it further.
Sure.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lipa.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the table. Can I have a roll call, please?
Albert Ackerman,
Yes.
Ray Coles,
Yes.
Yehuda Gold,
Yes.
Mike McNeil,
Yes.
Abraham Mola? Yes. Ellie Bennett? Ellie Bennett?
Yes.
Rabbi Weisberg?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Hey, thank you, everybody.